remarkable thing about the process is how it is consistently framed in sort of partisan and defensive terms when what is really happening is an institutional confrontation. And so let's like roll this back a little bit and talk about it in institutional terms, which is up until, and Russell's data is really very illuminating on this point. This is an overview, but it's reductionist in some respects, but it's basically accurate. Up through the Carter administration, and actually through much of the Reagan administration, there was an understanding about lower court nominees, which is that they took between 30 and 60 days to confirm unless there was some extraordinary reason why they shouldn't, like, you know, corruption or, you know, something very dramatic. This starts to change in the late Reagan administration, and it accelerates, the change accelerates from then till now. And here's the point that really undermines the sort of partisan component of the debate. It changes whether, with whichever party controls the White House, it gets worse. And whichever party controls the Senate, it also gets worse. So you would think if one of the mythologies, the defensive mythologies, were basically accurate, you would think when you have periods of Democratic control over this, it gets better. Or when you have periods of Republican control over blank, it gets better. But none of that. You can see short blips where things improve. But basically, things get worse no matter who is in control of which institution. And I think the only explanation that I've ever been able to think of for this is that we have realized as a society, and particularly the Senate and the interest groups that advocate in this area, have realized that the judiciary is an extraordinarily powerful institution and set of institutions. And they've realized as well that once you confirm somebody to a federal judgeship, there's not that much you can do about what that person does, save reversal, and that's really, you know, that takes doing. And the person then turns around and does something similar in another case, right? I mean, federal judges are significant creatures. And so there has been a pretty widespread decision to mind the gates more carefully. And that's actually, I think, the institutional confrontation that you're seeing. Now, I think this decision is completely bipartisan. It's completely, everybody denounces it when the other side does it, and everybody participates in it. And there has one really big problem with it, which is that we're bad at it. We're really bad at looking at somebody prospectively and deciding what kind of judge they're going to be.